Lieutenant Commander Chinochin read the announcement on his datapad and rubbed his hands together in glee. The third Arete Games were coming up, and he was the two-time defending champion on the obstacle course. For the first Arete Games, the win had been easy. He'd built the course himself the night before the competition and run it several times before anyone else even knew it existed. The second Arete Games had been a harder victory, but he'd eliminated two competitors via duty assignments, and another through clever explanation of the benefits of betting on Chinochin and throwing the event. What would it be this time around? Chinochin scanned the rules. There had been no new safeguards announced. Unsurprisingly, no one had contacted him to arrange the construction of the obstacle course or any other athletic venue. The only vague hint about the nature of the event at all was a mention that it would be designed to ensure the equal advantage of all species aboard the Arete. He got a chuckle out of that notion.
How are they planning to make this fair for Tessids? Will there be a mandatory 10-day wait in the middle of the competition?
He laughed anew at his own joke. There were only so many potential answers to who would be responsible for the construction. If Chinochin could snag some blueprints or a late-stage look at the in-progress build, that would likely be enough of an edge for him to win the actual athletic portion on talent and skill. But wasn't guile a talent? Wasn't planning a skill? It only took a few comms to discover that Jasmine was in charge of building the obstacle course this time around. Within the hour, he'd tracked her down and gotten her alone inside one of the access cubbies that the Hoffi considered a closet and which Chinochin thought of more as a locker room. "No," she told him as soon as Chinochin opened the door behind her. She had only glanced up briefly from reconnecting one of the ship's innumerable hoses full of acoustic gel.
But you haven't even heard my offer yet. I'm more than willing to make you a fair trade in exchange for—
"Still no," Jasmine clarified. She gave the fitting she was working on a two-handed yank with a wrench Chinochin couldn't even have lifted. After setting down the mighty hand tool, she swiveled and sat cross-legged facing him.
"Your reign of terror is at an end."
I think you misunderstand my—
I misunderstand nothing. I told Daphne I'd only take this task over if I had a personal guarantee that I wouldn't get caught up in any kind of drama. I watch holovids for the sex and explosions. I date the least problematic guy on the ship. I don't do drama. And you are here to dump me right in the middle of a bunch of it.
Commander Jasmine, would you at least be willing to hear my offer before you refuse?
Jasmine sighed.
Will you leave if I do?
Chinochin took that minuscule opening and ran.
I am willing to part with 10 jars of fresh peanut butter, 2 cases of 12-year-old Scotch whiskey—
I don't drink.
Right, sorry, my error. I can substitute premium blend coffee if that's acceptable to you. There would also be the matter of some stylish human-sized walking gloves, plus—
Sold.
Chinochin blinked several times, but he'd been trained in negotiating tactics and knew how to take yes for an answer.
Excellent. I will see that the goods in question arrive discreetly after the competition.
Before. Now, if you can manage. Just pile the stuff up inside my quarters. I'll square things with Trebla.
What had begun as an intractable obstacle to his scheme had suddenly turned into a willing and eager ally.
Of course. Just please bear in mind that this little arrangement needs to remain confidential if—
We're done here,
she told him.
Shoo!
Within seconds of leaving, there was a schematic in Chinochin's inbox. The promised deliveries made their way to Jasmine and Trebla's quarters not long after. In the days leading up to the third Arete Games, Chinochin studied and ran simulations. He visualized. He quietly practiced individual elements of the course. On the day of the games, the tarp came off the construction site. The rest of the crew could finally see what he'd been studying for weeks. At his side, Mackett bore a look of smug overconfidence.
You think you're going to beat me this time?
Chinochin taunted. Mackett giggled.
I don't know whether it will be me or someone else, but someone is going to get you this time around. We've all been studying the course, and I think I can see some— Pardon me, what? Did I possibly mishear you, or did you just admit to having an advanced copy of the course layout?
A few other competitors had drifted closer to eavesdrop.
Oh, not to worry. It was all sanctioned by Commander Morgan. As the officer in charge of the game's fairness, she thought it only appropriate that everyone get a copy. I didn't get sent a copy!
Chin-Chin protested. Daphne loomed behind him. She moved so quietly for someone so huge.
Didn't you? Commander Jasmine reported your bribe within minutes of receiving it. Everyone else was told to keep quiet. I could have disqualified you, but this feels more like justice.
Chin did not end up defending his obstacle course title in the third Arete Games. He finished a respectable 5th. For more magical mischief in the 26th century, search Black Ocean on your favorite audiobook store or visit blackoceanmissions.com.